Welcome to Monday Night Live, the weekly training that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and start building your wealth.
So we'll go ahead and start class now, guys. Welcome aboard to everyone, especially the guests. We're always glad to have you. So Kay had the question, how do you, when it comes to investors, how do you know you're working with the right kind of investor? Investors who are actually going to buy or sell, and have, if they're buyers, actually have the money and the credit to do that. So in the investor agent best practices class or training program, and everybody on the team has access to that. You have access to the other training programs too, but you have to get them unlocked from Sugar when you're ready for those other training programs. But in there, there's a process you go through when you first come across a new or client who's new to you. And it's true for owner occupants as well as investors. But you want to interview them. And I prefer you do it on Zoom if it's just not convenient to do it over the phone, but you want to take notes. And you want to build rapport first, okay? And then as soon as you do, you want to say, hey, really, I'm happy to help you. You seem like a good investor. There are some steps involved, though, in a process and a procedure I have to follow according to my broker and the state rules of name your state, okay? One of those is buyer agency agreement. But more importantly, when I go to other agents who represent sellers, okay, for example, I need to confirm with them that I've already screened you and qualified you. So would you mind sharing with me? Here's question number one. What do you have in savings? Don't ask them how much money do you have. That's going to strike a negative chord. Ask them what do you have in savings? Okay. Do you know what your credit score is? So instead of saying what's your credit score, ask them, do you know what your credit score is? And normally people realize, okay, they'll tell you if they know what it is. If they don't know, hey, would you please get that? You can get it for free. Okay, what's one of the things we'll need to have from you. You tell them when you sign that buyer's agency agreement, all your information is confidential to me. I don't share it with anybody. The only person who knows about it is you and me and my broker. Okay. And the third question is this. Do you have an available line of credit? Okay. And what that means is that they have a line of credit with availability of funds on it. So if they have a $100,000 line of credit, and they've used it all for other properties or who knows what, that doesn't count. They've got to have some available cash on it. Well, essentially credit, available credit on that. So those are the three key questions. And if you get all three answers, then, assuming they're good answers, at least two of the three. So let's say they have some cash and they got a decent credit score, but they have no available credit. What you want to do is say, if you could, let's go ahead and get you a line of credit, because then you can strike fast, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so. When you find a property you like, you can stroke an immediate check for the down payment. And if it turns out there's certain negotiating strategies where we raise the down payment, the hand money. I've even bought properties myself where my hand money check was the entire purchase amount. It was a half price offer. So that warranted me taking that risk. I already knew the property. I already knew I wanted it. I knew about the neighborhood. I already had properties there. So I had no qualms about making a half price offer. And I really wrote a check for the full amount. And guess what happened? I got the property. So in any case, things like that, you've got, sometimes you got to act boldly, but those questions really matter to you, because if they don't have cash and they don't have credit, right, and their credit score is crappy, do you really want to spend time with them? Yeah, it's a big no. No. So you can put them on the bus. Remember, you're the bus driver. Put them on a back seat and help them get through the process. Maybe they can go through the CAP program, Certified Affordable Housing Provider, right? There's plenty of people on the team that are in that program. In fact, at least 4 of them I see in a class right now. Um, so, Kate, that's an excellent question. That's a good place to start what I just gave you. And there's other material on the team website under scripts, but also in the investor agent best practices class. There's material in there. In fact, there's an entire sheet of instructions. I think it's like 11 steps to follow when you decide you're going to work with somebody. And I mean, it's very detailed, and you can't, as long as you stick with it, You can't go wrong. You know, the chances are they won't make a mistake either. They'll make a good purchase. So, in any case, thanks, Kate, for the
Thank you.
question. Yeah, you're very welcome. So for tonight, guys, we're going to go over listings. All right, I'm going to show you first what we have on the team website. And for those of you who are a guest and you're not on the team, stuff that's on the team website, I can share with you. Okay, as long as I go over it in class, and you don't have to. There's nothing here to buy or sell. There's no recruiting. It's straight up education. So you can ask all the questions you want. All right, and anything I show in class, I'm allowed to make available in the email that goes out tomorrow after class. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Gonna share my screen and go to this should be the website here I got up. Okay, yes, it is. Right, so this is our team website. This page here is actually our fast path 90-day fast start program. So let me get to the right area. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our marketing tab. Okay. And then in the marketing tab, everything is alphabetical, top to bottom and left to right. So you start in the upper left-hand corner. The booklet campaign is first because it's first alphabetically. And in the far bottom right-hand corner, third column on the right, bottom row, workshop campaign is last because it begins with a W. So I'm going to go right smack in the middle, second from the bottom in the middle column where it says listing campaign. Okay. Let's click on that. And let's see what magic comes up in the listing campaign. So in any case, great guy here, by the way, Joel Hollow. So there's a video of him teaching his famous Joel Hollow listing techniques. All right, so you want to watch that. And then down below here, there's several things to click on. So let's go ahead and click on a couple of these. All right. Now this is from NAEA, right? National Academy of Expert Advisors. We're all a part of this. If you're on the team or you're anywhere in my organization, you already know you can get NAEA tools. So here's the expert advisor home selling system. There's 7 steps there. I'm not going to go through all this because obviously you can do that on your own. I just want to show you what's out here. That's one of the clickable items there. All right. And this is stuff that you can sell, you can use with your clients. All right. Stuff you can use to differentiate yourself, set yourself apart from the crowd. Well, let's go to the next one. All right. This is the 4-minute close. All right. Listing appointment, front talk, a 4-minute close. I'll let you look at this. So if you actually, let me ask you this question, guys. Who here has ever been on a team where you started out and you were a buyer's agent? Has anybody done that where your role on the team or role in your broker was a buyer's agent? And that's all you did. You didn't get listings, you just did buy sides. Does anybody remember what that was like? And you thought, well, gee, it must be really hard to do listings. Okay. And you find out later on it's really not hard to do listings. I think the reason why they do that is, I mean, listings are that's the main game, the main part of the game of real estate. The person that controls the listings controls the market. Because when you have listings, everybody's calling you, right? That's why you want listings. But let's just ask for a hand raise here. Raise your hand if you found listings to be harder than working with buyers, or do a thumbs up. Do a thumbs up if you found listings to be harder than working with buyers, or thumbs down if you found buyers to be harder than working with other sellers. Because what most people will tell you is it's actually easier to do the listings, and let people. I hear this every couple of months. I'm afraid to do listings because I never had one before, and I feel like I need to do a lot more training first. We are going to train you, but the best way to work on listings is to get listings. It's to learn by doing business. Would you guys agree? This is a doing business? Absolutely. I mean, you could ask Kay. Kay came into business probably, what, 3 years ago, Kay? Maybe 4? Max? Yeah. And you got some buyers, right? Then you got some listings. See, Kay, go ahead and unmute yourself, if you don't mind.
Okay.
What do you think compared listings compared to buyers? Which would you say, at the end of the day, ends up being the easiest path to I mean, they're all have challenges, of course, but what do you prefer, listings or buyers?
I've made a lot more money on listings than I have with buyers. Buyers frustrate me.
Amen. Amen. I'm telling you guys. So don't ever be afraid of it. It's just a myth. It's just a limiting belief. If you can work with buyers, you definitely have the aptitude and the patience to work with sellers. All right. And we're going to show you how. In any case, that's another attachment there. You can read all about it. We call it the 4-minute close. Um, thank you, Kate. Let's see. Okay, minimum commission schedule. This is really just a breakdown. If depending on the price of the house and the what your split is or your excuse me, your commission, um, it'll give you you have to give some to your buyer's agent too, wherever they are. But that's all in here. It's just another little extra attachment. Um, and then finally, a seller counseling interview sheet. Guys, this is it right here. If all you did was you downloaded this and use this, you're literally easily a third of the way there. Okay. This is assuming if you're using this, you've already got a prospect. Okay. And by the way, we mentioned this a few weeks ago. What is the percentage of time that a seller talks to more than one agent about listing their property? How often do they actually talk to more than one agent about selling their property? Just a percentage. Just take a wild guess. Some of you might remember because we just
15%.
talked about it. What's that?
15%.
About 15%. Thanks, PF. Yeah,
Oh, I got it right?
you did. Yeah.
I was low bowling.
Sometimes I've seen 85% of the time they're going to go with the first person they talk to. Sometimes it's 87. I've seen both, but historically it's 85% they will use the first agent they talk to. So guys, if all you did was show up, you could have an 85% batting average, you know? So in any case, pretty startling stuff there. All right, I don't want to chew up the whole clock here. Let's keep moving on here. Um, Let me go to our GIA resources. These are our team's internal resources under, guess what, GIA resources. Okay, so if you go in there and go into scripts, all right, there's actually two places I want you to focus on here. One of them clearly is listing scripts. All right, so let's click on that. And let's see, how many pages do we have here? Usually it tells you, um, my cursor, 5 pages, 5 pages of script to work with people. Here's some common objections. I'm not giving my house away, right? Um, what if you have to ask for a reduction in price? Um, I want you to advertise more. My house is way nicer. If you're not sure if they want to sell, what do you do? They want to overprice the property. Never heard that one before. Obviously, it's just they all think it's worth more than it really is. But all of this is in here for you. Okay. And then there's another section I want you to do is work with me scripts. Okay. So especially the newer agents are worried about this. Why would they work with me, Gary? Why would they work with me? In most cases, they're not even going to ask you how many houses you sold. They're just going to be glad you're there, glad you returned their phone call. In any case, there are 5 pages here. Again, I'm not going to go through these. I just want you to know where they are. You can download them and you can practice them. Okay. So in any case, there's a couple of items there for you on the team website. All right. Just for listings in 2 different categories. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to go to the EXP toolbox. So hang on to your seats because I got to actually. Here's the toolbox. All right. Right up here in the middle column at the top is where we're going to go tonight. There's lots you can choose here. I mean, there's sections that talk about healthcare. That's your insurance, EXP, all kinds of stuff. Co-sponsorship. Let's just go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes of what we're here about tonight. So, in any case, these are all of your features and functions in programs available to you in EXP Toolbox. I'm going to start with making it rain. Okay. Let's click on that. This is a really, really good one. Pretty famous stuff here for those of you who've been around. You know, this is this is your war chest, okay? So in any case, up top here, there's different apps you can get on your phone. Express offers, if you've never heard of express offers and you have a client who wants to sell fast, these are generally investor offers on your property. And they're legitimate. These are real offers from real people. They've already been screened and everything. But here's the main thing here, the listing exposure. How to get your listings in front of more people, all right? Usually Facebook and Instagram, all right? And here's another tool over here, seller lead attract. How do you actually attract the sellers? All right, generate seller leads in your target market, capturing homeowners, info from people looking to sell their home. Okay. Now, promoting your properties. And obviously, these aren't mine. These are some of these are some of your guys' properties actually. But you would put in the property you want to boost, right? And then follow the instructions there. Really easy stuff to do. All right. In any case, Builder, let's go to, let me show you some more tools. Hang on one second. Build a sign is in here. I'm not going to go into that because it's pretty evident what that is. Always people ask when they first join, well, how do I get my signs or where do I get them? You go right here, build a sign. And my understanding is you'll get them in 24 to 48 hours. So the way we do things here, guys, is you don't go out and buy 10 signs. That's not how we do things here. We use JIT, just in time. So when you get a listing, you need a sign, you come in here, you order a sign, you're going to get it in 24 to 48 hours. If you got 3 listings, you get 3 signs. Eventually, you're going to have enough signs. You'll have enough signs to cover, you know, as many listings as you can handle. You don't want need to buy them anymore. So you just buy them as you need them. All right. So build a sign. Another really awesome tool I like here, partly because we get it for free and is an excellent, excellent tool, is Canva. Who here has used Canva? Just do a hand raise. Yeah. I mean, I don't even use it, but my VAs use it. And it is awesome. So we're actually taking some of our marketing material, like the booklet, you guys, we went over the booklet recently. We're taking the original booklet and Sugar is creating a brand new booklet format using Canva. So we'll put that out there and everybody here, we get it for free, you know? So there's Canva, you can use that in your listing presentations, right? Now, let's go down a little bit here. Hang on one second. In EXP toolkits, right? Let's click on that. I'm going to get, I know some of you are wondering if I don't want to go to Bold Trail. We are going to go into Bold Trail. Just I want to get through some of this other stuff here first because it's really important. Okay. Now, if you, by the way, brand and marketing is in here, you definitely want to know where that is. All right. And there's a resource guide for every single state, agent state resource guide. It's all in there. And there's Canva, by the way, again, all kinds of stuff there. So let's scroll down. Commercials in there, referral, growth and attraction, icon award, more growth and attraction for individuals and teams, international onboarding, lead protection, land and ranch is now in here, part of actually part of luxury. All right, mentor program is explained in here. New agent resource guide. If you're new, you want to come in here and click on that. Onboarding resource guide. Pre-market exposure. That would be a good one for you. So remember that or write that down. Pre-market exposure, right? Seller toolkit. This is what I wanted to show you. Okay. Let's click on this. Here we go. And you're going to want to scroll down, right? Actually, download that form. Now, I'm going to go through here a little bit more detail than what I've been doing so far. All right. This is a seller advisory form. I already showed you one that was on our PD site, the team's website. Under the marketing tab, you click on listing presentation under the marketing tab, you'll get a seller advisory form there too. Um, uh, other resources here. Really, this is
Gary, what does the seller advisory form do?
you take information from your seller about their house, themselves. What do you know? What are they looking to? Are they moving? When are they moving? When do they need to sell?
So it's
Um,
kind of like that other sheet that you showed us about the
yep,
questionnaire when you're interviewing them.
yep, yep,
Okay.
yep. So, in any case, there's some great social media posts you guys can use here across your channel. So, in any case, you'll just download those. Now, these are resources, guys, you want to download. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. View the presentation slides, right? From XP settlement update. Um, teacher sellers about buyer concessions. Print this overview for your seller. FAQs. Um, watch the recording. Okay. The executive masterclass empowering sellers. I haven't seen that, but I would probably watch it. Now, um, listing forms are in here. Okay. So everybody's always asking, where's the forms? Well, you actually have them on SkySloop already. It's done by state. If you're ever uncertain, I've got access to 38 states. So, in any case, everything you need, exclusive authorization and right to sell, closures. Um, you know, they even have forms in here for wraparound and subject to mortgage, consumer advisory form. There's been a lot more of that going on lately. It's amazing that our brokerage actually has this in here. Most brokerages do not have this kind of stuff. Definitely not, uh, the subject of subject to mortgage purchases. I've never seen that in any other brokerage. In any case, scripts for success, pricing scripts, listing consultation scripts, concession talking points, um, mastering the compensation conversation. These are actual uh, recordings of scripts in action. Um, there you go. Download the seller net sheet, multiple offer review form sheet. Remember, multiple offers is a good thing, guys. I want to give you a little picture over here. I can't tell you how many agents I come across and they get multiple offers and they talk their seller into taking the best offer. So let's do a pop quiz here. Instead of trying to convince your client to take the best offer with multiple offers, what should you actually do? What does our code of ethics say? And what would be the wise thing to do? If you have multiple offers, what should you do?
Ask for best and final.
Absolutely. Get out the highest and best addendum. Tell all the other agents we got multiple offers. Please give us your highest and best by 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Whatever. No, I wouldn't give it more than 24 hours. And what's really interesting, what happens if you say you have 5 offers initially and you do the highest and best, and then the next thing you know, you get 2 or 3 offers? What should you do then?
Set up a chart.
Same thing. Do it again. Do another.
Do
Hey,
it
we
again.
still got, you got to get us. Come on, get us your best offer, guys. Right. And sometimes people will back out, and other times you'll get somebody to surface to the top. But in any case, great way to get your buyers more money. So here's the buyer presentation toolkit right here. Just click on it, grab everything that is in there. Okay. So, okay. Everybody okay so far? I know I'm going into a lot, but I'm not going into a lot of detail. Mainly what I'm doing here is just showing you, and you can take screenshots. Remember, you get the recording tomorrow. You can take notes and screenshots. The main thing is I want you to remember where all this is. Okay. That is the main thing. Right now, we looked at that. We get rid of that one. We looked at that. We get rid of that one. We just looked at that. Get rid of that one. Looked at that already. Okay, let's see back here. I keep that one. I'm going to keep that one. I keep that one. Okay, let's go to Bold Trail. Go back here first. All right. So in Bold Trail, hope it doesn't make me want to log in again. I'm going to get back to this in a second, the listing machine. When you first get in here, let's go to, keep going backwards. Almost there. Here we go. All right. When you're on your dashboard, I guess I could have gone directly there. Hi, I just want to take a moment to thank you for watching a recording of the Monday Night Live class. Hope you're getting a lot out of it. I'm sure you will. I wanted to let you know that, you can come to Monday Night Live whenever you want, but you can also participate more with the team. Why don't you set up a call with me, a one-on-one strategy call? I can go over everything with you, show you everything that we have to offer. For example, did you know that on our team, not only do you get your leads, we actually give you your own account on our lead gen system. So this puts you in control. You're not waiting on somebody to hand you leads. You get to pick the ones you want. Okay. Huge difference. We have 21 of our own proprietary marketing campaigns. They're all copyright protected. We're the only ones that can use them. Okay. The coaching is absolutely one-on-one. We got 3 coaches. We even have a 4th success coach that we have access to. Okay. One of left fewer than 100 in the world. Okay. One-on-one coaching. Right now the big problem is volume. We need more transactions. We need more inventory. I get it. Well, we know how to get it. Our team actually outproduces the national average by more than 2 to 1. So if you're struggling, don't do that anymore. If you're a solo agent, if you're a team, let's just talk. Smart entrepreneurs are always open to discussion. Learn what we have to offer, and then you can make an informed decision about staying where you are or moving on. You got to decide, if you're not where you want to be, you've got to take action to get where you want to be. Let's see how we can help you do that. I look forward to talking to you. Click on the link, set up a call. And by the way, I'll see you on the next Monday Night Live. See in the middle column where it says promote a new listing. Everybody with me? Okay, and this is in bold show. Loftyware has something similar. So just click on that. Okay. And you have playbooks that you can start. All right. You can start a brand new playbook or revise one. And I'm not going to get into all the details, but essentially, you've got your listings, team listings. I'm physically in Pennsylvania. That's why Pennsylvania listings are showing up there, even though I'm not licensed in Pennsylvania. So that's where you can do that now. If we go into the marketing tab down here, all right, listing machine, just click on that. There's a video to watch. It is really easy to learn. Has anybody used this recently on our team? Who has a listing recently? Okay, so PF, PF. Hey guys, I want to congratulate PF again. I don't know if I did that in class last week. I think we put it up in the agent attraction huddle, or one of the huddles. But in any case, PF got his first listing, and I couldn't be happier. I don't want to embarrass the guy, but just know this: it is a monumental achievement, and you'll never understand why I say that. Just know this: that it is awesome, awesome day for the GIA team and PF and me. So
Thank
love you,
you,
brother.
everyone.
You're welcome. Remember when we first met all those years ago at the Market Center? That was what 10, 11 years ago or something? Yeah.
Oh my
I
God,
mean,
really? I've forgotten.
yeah. In fact, back then, PF, you had hair and my hair wasn't gray, so I know it was at least 10 years ago. I just play with you. In any case, you've got all this down here available to you. Listing machine, social media, present. I would definitely click on the present button. In fact, let's just go ahead and do it. Okay. It's going to take a second to load up here. And I'm going to show you 1 or 2 more things, and I'm saving the best for last. So, in any case, talk to with stuff here, guys. Basically, just click and go. Everything in here you could possibly need, right? Having the full analytics for a presentation. You absolutely want to be prepared, but just remember this: the better prepared you are, the easier your client is going to. Easier the time your client will have to say yes to you. But again, if you just showed up chance 85% of the time, chances are you're going to get the listing. I suggest you do the right thing, be prepared, and show up with your data. I'm going to explain why here in a little bit. In any case, there's that. We go back here. Let's see, listing machine. Let's just go ahead and click on that. So you get the details. This is assuming you have listings, right? You can see I don't have one, but you get the whole kit there. Now, I do want to go back to the team website just quickly to show you one more thing. I forgot to show you this. In marketing, okay, where is it? Let's see, greatest listing closing. Here it is. Greatest listing closing techniques. So, in here, what I want you to do is, if you click on this stuff here, actually, let me go to the video first. This is a video of me. I'm not going to play it, but it shows you what I call the decision matrix, but it's designed for listings. So if you kind of scroll ahead here, I'm building a chart for you. This is you doing this for your client. You don't have to have a flip chart. This could be a legal pad of paper. The columns are the properties that you're comparing to, your comps, your comparables. All right. Number one is always a subject property. 2, 3, and 4. Maybe if you have more, that could be 5 or 6 other comparables. The rows are all the variables: bathrooms, bedrooms, basements, backyards, pools, you name it. And of course, price and all of that, square footage, the whole 9 yards. You bring in your comparables, you hand them to your first prospect, your prospective seller, and you put this chart in front of them and say, okay, let's look at property number 1, which should be under the number 2 column. Let's go ahead and mark in here, plus or minus. Is this like your property, check mark, or plus sign if it's not like your property, minus sign, right? And there's other things. I'm just giving you the high level view. You do that for all the properties. And then if you're smart, you'll make the first property the one you believe is the closest comp. Because remember, an appraisal, they don't use the average of all the comps. They pick the comp that's closest to the subject property and make adjustments. Now you're going to loosely do that in this presentation. And at the end, you look at the price and you say, okay, if we have this data, that means all the other agents have it, which means their clients also have the same data. So if they're doing the same thing we're doing, you really think it's realistic that they're going to accept your offering price like it's the same price as number 5, which is the most expensive house, but clearly number 2 is the closest match for your house. Which way do you think most smart people will go? Clearly, they're going to go with the numbers that they have, which is the same numbers that you have. So the bottom line is, if you want to sell your house, you got to price it right. If you don't, it's going to sit there, it's going to get stigmatized. You're going to do price drops, and it's going to hurt even worse. Let's do it the right way. Does that make sense, guys? And if
Gary,
anybody,
I've been using a little bit of Copilot and ChatGPT after I pulled my comps and figured out what I think is right, and then I'll run it through their stuff, and they put together some really nice charts that you can just download and put into your presentation. So I'll cut and paste.
well, funny you should mention that, Kay, because guess what? One of our next huddle is going to be
Oh, okay.
an AI huddle. We're going to wait a little bit because we just launched the investor huddle last week. So a lot of people are in the Fast Cap program. For those of you who have not been in Fast Cap, guys, I highly encourage you to sign up for the April 29th start. And guess what? You know how on the April 1st Fast Cap program, they made realty.com leads available to everybody in the program. And if you finish the program, you get it for an entire year. They're doing that for the rest of the Fast Cap classes this year. So my advice to you is just take Fast Cap. I mean, you definitely want to finish it because I'm telling you, I'm a team leader and we have the data. And guess who produces the most? The people that go to Fast Cap. So do Fast Cap and get yourself a year of free leads. Holy cow, that's one. Write that down, guys. Okay.
And we sign up for that in the education section.
Yeah, actually, if you just Google EXP Fast Cap program, right? It'll take you right to the page. You sign up. You just click sign up here, yeah. But it also is in your toolkit. You go in your toolkit like I was showing you earlier, you can get it there. Yeah. So, anyways, well, guys,
Just put it in the chat as well.
Gary, it's under the university in
Yeah.
Okta.
that's right. It's in university too. Yeah, it is a
Yeah, that's
university
what it
program.
is. That's where she can sign up for it for the 29th.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Vanetta. So, guys, look in the chat box. PF put the link in there. Thank you, PF, for doing that. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you ask questions if you want, but what I'm going to do now is I save the best for last. I'm going to actually show you how we get a listing lead. Okay, but before we do, any questions so far other than the ones we just had here about fast cap and so forth? Thanks, PF. Lots of thank yous. Congratulations.
Robert has his hand up, so.
Yeah. Hey, Robert, do you have a question? Robert, you know what? You're not muted, but for some reason we can't hear you. Could be mic setting might be on a different mic. Yeah, it's still quiet. If you unplug I saw the headset had a mic. If you unplug that, then on the Zoom settings for microphone, you might need to switch it to your computer or laptop.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So my question was, if we have a seller that's looking to break a price ceiling in a neighborhood, I know there's tons of factors that could affect that, but let's just say, for instance, there's a recently sold. I've got a lot. No, recently sold was a lot. So it's pretty much apples to apples. What I'm trying to get her to realize, we've already got an offer that would have broken the price ceiling for that particular neighborhood, but she's wanting to hold out for more. Is there any rule of thumb as far as like a percentage when you're breaking a price ceiling that buyers just probably aren't going to pay more than X percent when they break that ceiling?
It actually, that's an excellent question, by the way. And the answer, it actually depends on the market. So there's an old saying, when you're pricing a property, it's like hockey. You don't skate to where the puck is now, you skate to where the puck is going. So if it looks like in that neighborhood, you have multiple sales, and let's say you have multiple offers and you're going fast, like the days on market is less than 30 days on average. And do you know if you have any multiple offers on any of those sales, the prior sales?
No, we got, there was a lot that was very comparable to ours, right at an acre that had just sold. And we
Okay.
got an offer for 10K over that recent one, but this particular client doesn't want to take it, and she's insistent on it being priced a little too high. And I'm just trying to get her to understand, hey, this was a good offer. It's already broken this price ceiling for this neighborhood for lots, but for whatever reason, she's just not ready to come around to that.
Well, here's the reality. Obviously, the last 18 months to 2 years has been one of the slowest markets in 40 years. So I do believe we are in a buyer's market still. Weird because not all the data is there, but the fact is it's technically what it has been. Now your market could be different. So what I was getting at before is when the market is moving forward aggressively, like prices going up, generally you can push it by 10%. That's the rule of thumb, push it by 10% max. Okay. But same thing on the downside. If the market is slowing down, days on market is increasing, sale price to list price has been dropping, you kind of want to go 10% to the downside. So what I would do, Robert, I would look at the sales for the last year and do it like monthly views for 12 months. See what trends you can determine. Now it is springtime, so things are picking up. And the other thing too is me and just about everybody else that's like Glenn Sanford, for example, have all determined this is the year of new construction. We believe that their new construction is taking off. We can already kind of see it. So it is possible the market is already starting to feel more confident. So people are out there buying more. I just don't know if there's enough data there to substantiate that. That's why if you could do the research, do the monthly views for the last 12 months, see if you're going to determine a trend, then you can go back to your client and say, well, this is what the actual data tells us, you know? So I need to mute somebody here. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but I might have taken care of it.
It's from Robert.
Okay. Okay. In any case, I would try that, Robert. If you want to set up a call with me, we can go over it together. But so she's just kind of being a little bit stubborn, it sounds like, the client.
Yeah, I mean, with our offer, we were going to break the ceiling by about 10%, and she's looking for more like a 30%.
No, that would be extreme. That would be a very rare micro market phenomenon. In other words, it just happens to be that one market in Myrtle Beach, for example, maybe it's something people were been waiting on for 10 years, right? And there's a certain zoning allowance in there, something they're allowing for that hasn't been allowed for some time. That could create a micro trend, but I've never seen 30% like that fast. Unfortunately, I think could happen is she could end up losing it sounds like a good offer by being able
Yeah,
to list it.
I agree. I mean, I
So
thought the offer we got was a good one. I'm just trying to get her to understand that, we're breaking the ceiling by 10%, and she's wanting 30% above the ceiling. So
yeah,
we're just kind of at an impasse.
yeah. Well, I tell you what, tell her this. This is a fact. The worst thing a seller can do is not take a good offer like that, because if no other offers come in, later on she's going to feel like, gee, I've got to lower my price now. When you start doing price drops, the property gets stigmatized. Um, so, in any case, the other thing too is the data never lies. The data tells the truth. So if you do that research, you can show it, just lay it out. You know, last May through here April, lay it out right in front of her and say, look, just like I was saying before, say, ma'am, the fact is the other agents out there and their clients have the same exact data we have. They know the score. If they have the data that we have, and the data says we should go up maximum 8%, something like that. What's the likelihood somebody's going to come in plus 30%? It's just not realistic. But something like that, then you let the data do the talking. She can't fight the data. She can argue with you, but she can't argue with the data. So,
Thanks.
yep,
Gary, what about in a slow moving market when things have not sold in an area? When you get like out of a metropolitan area, a little bit rural, what advice do you have for that in terms of, I mean, I've had to go like, more than 12 months out to get some sales just to pick two or three.
Yeah. Well, you can either go back in time or geographically out further, spread out further.
Yeah.
You just have to find comparable neighborhoods when you do that. And it's not something appraisers like to do. I always use thinking what the appraisers will do, but appraisers, when there's nothing else they have to go on, they will go back in time further than they really want to, and they'll also go further out geographically until they find some competence.
Okay.
But remember, just like for Robert K., the data is your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
People can't argue with data; they can only argue with you.
Mm-hmm.
And look, you want to try to determine a trend is what you're trying to do. Determine a trend. So you can look and see, look at the last 3 years, and look at the monthly sale volume. And if you see clearly it's been dropping off, volume's getting lower and lower, then chances are either she's going to sit there for a long time, or they're going to have to lower the price. And price ahead of the market. You want to be in front of the puck. Oh, okay, good questions, guys. So, by the way, this video must be probably 10 years old because I'm looking here. I don't see hardly any gray hair. Okay. All right. Save the best for last. You guys ready for the best?
Sure.
Okay, so let's go into really flow. All right. So let's do this. Let's pick actually, Robert, let's do this. Robert, what is the county that you're in?
Horry, Horry. H is silent.
Horry County. There it is. Yeah. Okay. So what we're looking for are listing prospects. Now you've got 178,159 residential properties there, including land and multifamily up to 4 units. So clearly they're not all gonna want to sell. Okay. So what we're trying to do is find people that want to sell. All right. And I'm just going to focus on let's click off apartment. And in fact, let's just focus on single family homes. We're going to work with single family homes, right? So what we're trying to do is determine motivation by using these filters. We're trying to get to somewhere around 50 people, 50 owners that appear to be most likely interested in selling. So we're looking for pain points. Now, if you look over here on the right-hand column, the third column on the right, second down, it says delinquent tax activity, 2,171. That means there's 2,171 property owners that are behind on property taxes. Okay. So you think that will be a good one to select, a good motivator? People behind on property tax? Let's just try that. I mean, you can look at all these. We don't have a lot of time to look at all these, but I also know this. Oddly enough, and we found a government report to bear this out. About 3 years ago, we recognized that in the country, the US at the time, there were, I think, 30 million people who were behind on property taxes. 30 million people. And here's the most startling statistic of all. Of those 30 million people behind on property taxes, 93% had zero debt on the house. No debt. And realistically, what that means is probably paid it off or they pay cash for it. So they don't have their taxes being escrowed for them like you do with a regular mortgage. So April comes around, they get a $10,000 tax bill and they just don't have the $10,000, you know? So I'm going to select people that own the property free and clear because it also means, you know what? Maybe they could do some owner financing. Maybe they could hold back a note for 10%. In other words, they have the flexibility to be more creative, right? That takes us down to 1,073 people. Now I'm looking with how can I narrow this down further? So look over here, 505 of them were absentee owners. But look at this, board investor. 108 of them are board investors. Let's just see what that question mark tells us. A board investor is someone who doesn't live there, they're absentee owner, and they've owned the property for 10 years or more. So I think I'm going to click on that. And what that means is we've got this property. Chances are it's got, now everything's 10 years old or older, and they're looking at possibly a new roof, new kitchen, who knows what. And they're probably thinking, gee, I should probably sell this. By the way, even though it's probably investor owned, that doesn't mean I'm going to try to sell it to another investor. I'm just looking for single family homes that I can list and sell to anybody because I know single family homes are the most common property in the country, more than any other kind of property. I also know there's more people that can and will buy a single family home than any other type of property. So I'm trying to maximize supply and demand. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
I want a commission. I want it now. The best way to do that is to maximize supply and demand. That's your best chance of getting a transaction now. The people that focus on like pre-foreclosure and all that stuff, I'm not saying that stuff doesn't work, but you're in for a tough road. Give yourself an easy path to prosperity. Give yourself the path of biggest supply and biggest demand. In any case, now we're down to 108. And let's see here. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with the 108, and I'm going to scroll down further. All right. And I'm going to look for certain price ranges. So, Robert, what would be a good price range, like above mean or median price, but not so high that there's only going to be three of those properties, like a good upper middle class, maybe not quite luxury, but something in that area, what would you say that range would be, or a minimum price, I guess?
I would say minimum probably 275,
Okay,
topping out at about 450.
275. I'm gonna put 450. Let's see what that takes us down to. It takes us down to 28 properties. See that at the bottom, guys? 28 properties. So let's just click on this and take a look at some of them. Here's one on Long Branch Swamp Road. All right, 311,000. So we get the property address. Um, by the way, we have some AI capability here too. I'm not going to get into that tonight, but we know by looking at the data, it's an absentee owner. We knew that. Board investor. We knew that. 10 years of ownership, right? They paid cash for it. They own it free and clear. They're behind on property taxes. So there's a resale score of only 408. So these are kind of low scores here, but still, I mean, I would still reach out to them. This is an LLC.
Gary,
Yep.
what would a high score be? What would a high score? You said those are low scores. What would a
Yeah, the high score is a 408 for the resale of retail. But you're generally looking for something 500 or more on the resale, the retail score. Rental is only 317 and wholesale is only 112. But I honestly, this is looking close enough. I'd probably contact these people, um, partly because I know they're behind on property taxes. They've already owned it 16 years, right? And what are they doing? I don't know. I mean, they might be ready. Heck, after 16 years, maybe the kids are grown and gone. I I would reach out to them. Um, you get the property insights, the financial insights, right? Building insights, construction material. Now, there's no current loan right now, but they did have a mortgage before. Um, Anderson Brothers Bank, right, 5.3%. And then you get the deed recordings. So we get all this wonderful information. And really, actually, all we do, guys, is this. We just click download, right? Make it a standard file, export it to your computer. And then while we're at it, before we leave, we also click on social, create a social audience to load up to Meta. So we can market to these people on Facebook and Instagram, right? So in any case, there's a lot more I could show you there, guys, on that really flow system, but we can scroll down and we can look in here property features. We can tell it we only want a minimum, properties with a minimum of 4 bedrooms and 3 baths, or 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. Um, they must have a pool, all these things we can click on and narrow things down further. Um, and if there was a mortgage, we can also see if it's assumable, because we know FHA, USDA, and VA are all three assumable, right? So we look for assumable mortgages with a maximum interest rate of 4%. Now this one has a 5 point something percent interest rate. If it was already listed, we would know it because this platform interfaces with all the MLSs. We get previous sale information, of course, and anything related to foreclosure. In any case, that is one way that we source our listing leads. We certainly use our tools. Remember on the toolbox, right? We can go to social media and kick off some campaigns there. We can use Google AdWords. So there's lots of things we can do to generate listing candidates. But I just want to show you one of the easiest ways using our lead sourcing tool called Real eFlow. Okay, guys, that's a lot to look at. If you guys were taking notes, and I hope you were, I'll give you an assignment. If you could, you'll get the replay tomorrow. Go into Toolbox, right, and just look at some of the things we talked about tonight. Go into EXP Toolbox, click on Making It Rain, all right. Click on Canva, you can learn that, and then click on the Seller Toolkit down below. Remember, there's an additional toolkit button. Click on that. Click on Seller Toolkit. Click on that, just download everything, keep it, and if you're new to lifting, um, make the goal of reading and studying that, a little bit every day, half hour a day. And by the way, it's because it's April, put up a strategy call with me. We can go over some stuff and get you in the game of getting some listings. All right. We'll go to Really Flow, we'll create a file, get some letters out, and we'll get the ball rolling. Also, Bold Trail. If you already have a listing or you've got one coming, go ahead and go on the Bold Trail and look at those tools, right? So, but that's your homework assignment. And Really Flow, we can work on together. You can obviously you can go into there too, but I don't want to overwhelm you. I want to show you where everything was, let you see what's available, and then go ahead and challenge yourself. Set a goal. I want listing by the end of the month. So you got 10 days, or listing, two listings by the end of May. So you essentially got 41 days. But the key is to set a goal and start taking action to hit that goal. One of the best days of your life is when you get a listing. It's also one of the scariest days, right? Like I'll never forget the first time I got a listing, and jumped out of my chair, and my next thought was, "Uh-oh, what do I do now?" I never had a listing. Everybody had that feeling before?
Yep.
Yeah, perfectly normal, perfectly natural. We just remember it's to learn by doing business, and that's why we like doing these huddles. Remember, we have investor huddle, working with investors. We're going to go into more detail this week. New construction huddle. And boy, if you want listings, nice ones, one of the best things you can do is learn how to work new construction. So you can start getting the new construction listings. It won't happen right away, but you bring a buyer, you bring a builder, one or two or three buyers. I can promise you that builder is going to reach out to you and say, "Would you mind listing my others too?" Smaller builders particularly don't have budgets for this stuff. They don't have inside sales teams. They don't even understand marketing. That's why they need you. So you bring them a couple of buyers using Vicinity, our Vicinity platform. And Robin, your trainer is on right now. She's in the class. I mean, you couldn't have a better opportunity, So, I mean, this is the time. The time is now. So, okay.
Gary, I have a question. Gary, I
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
question. I know you said before that when you're working with investors, like we sent out the letter, that we sent out 12 subsequent letters. Do you have a copy of those subsequent letters that we should send out?
You know what I do, Banana? Now this is just me, but it's been working for me and a lot of other people. Remember, Deborah up in New York, Deb? We follow the instructions to a T. So let me go back to the team website and marketing. So where is the letter campaign? So the letter and the letter campaign, but then it's going to load up here in a second. So that letter, believe it or not, this is the 17th year of this letter. I've never had a letter perform like this before, especially for 17 years. But this is it. No letterhead, name specific, property
Right.
specific, and you send that letter every week for 12 weeks. And you
The
call
same
the
letter.
people, same exact letter. Now, having said that, I'm going to give you some tricks. Okay. So you also want to follow up with them with a phone call after 5 days. 5 days after each mailing, call them. Now, three things are going to possibly happen. One is they're going to respond to you and say, "I'm so glad you reached out to me. How did you know I need to sell my house?" That's a good day. Another one is they tell you to take a hike. All right. That very rarely happens, by the way, because one of the biggest fears we have, it's never happened to me ever at all those years. Third possibility is this. You get past the 12th letter, you're not there anymore, and a month later, somebody calls you up and say, "Hey, why'd you stop sending me that letter? I've been getting it. I have been busy. I've been meaning to call you." Believe it or not, that actually happens more than the people telling you to take a hike. But the key is repetition. Now, here's how you can sweeten the pot. You don't want to do this every letter, but do it after the first four letters, the next four letters, and and on the final letter. In the fourth letter, if the people had not responded, for the people that have not responded, what you want to do is do a one-page summary sheet of active, pending, and sold in that specific neighborhood for the last, you pick 90 days, 6 months, or a year, and show them and say, look, this is what I'm talking about. These houses are just like yours in your neighborhood. This is what the 3 are actively listed for. These 4 are under contract right now, and these 6 have sold in the last year. This, and then circle the one you think is closest theirs. Put that in your letter. All right. Another thing you can do is another, 4 letters later, and this is a bold move, but this is one I've done and worked myself. I would print off the list of my buyers, my active buyers, last name only, right? And I would circle the ones that wanted properties just like theirs. And I would know because I'm taking these people out. I would say the ones I circled in yellow, they're the ones that want a property just like yours, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, I would do that. The final attempt is include something like a recent article about real estate in their area, whether the market's going up, the market's going down. You could always make an argument about selling, why you want to sell now, but something like that that's relevant, and photocopy it and stuff it in the envelopes. The only other thing I've seen work to help you get some responses is, believe it or not, a good old fashioned yellow sticky note. Just write hand right under it. Hey, I know this is the 7th letter I sent you, but I really do have people like Mr. Hanby or Miss Hubbard who really are looking for property just like yours in your area. This is why I'm being persistent. I'm not trying to be a pain. I'm trying to find a house for my client. That's all you want to say. My client wants a house in your area just like yours. That's why I'm doing this. Something like that, real personal, and let them know your pain point. So, in any case, good question, Vanetta. Thank you. Now, they're on ReallyFlow. There's over 50 letters there, but honestly, they're and I'm not saying they're bad. They're good, but there's going to be, you have to look at the filtering to know which letter to use, right? And they're generally going to be shorter, even shorter than my letter, and sometimes a little bit salesy. So you got to pick the one that feels like reflects you, you know.
All right,
So
thanks.
you're welcome. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
That's good.
Let's check the chats here. Let's see. As you gain more experience and knowledge in niche areas, you'll become the expert and it will be second nature. Absolutely. Niche marketing, guys, one of the best inventions in modern marketing history. You can't go wrong niching it down. I promise you. I mean, look at me as an example. My niche was always investors. I never, on a business card, I never ever said we specialize in and listed 5 things. I help first-time homebuyers. I help retirees. I help vacation owners. My thing was always, you know what? I help investors make good decisions, good investments. Yeah, that's what I did. And I didn't just get the investors, I got a lot of owner occupants too, because it stuck out. Every other business card out there had the same stuff on it. I specialize in 5 different things. And here I show up with a business card that said, you know what? I specialize in investing. That's what I do. I help investors make good investment choices. That's what I do. I got a lot of business as a result. In fact, when I started doing that year I started that, I did 110 transactions in that year. It was a lot of investors, but you know what? They bought more than one property with me. In fact, they bought an average of 4. So let's just do a quick quiz here. What's better, marketing really hard to get 10 clients who each buy 1 property? Marketing really hard to get 10 clients who each buy 4 properties. Yeah, well, that's why we started the investor huddle. So, okay, let's
When is
see.
the
A lot of
investor hubble again? That's the Wednesdays? When is that?
Wednesday, 11:30. So what I'm doing, Vanetta, is it's not just commercial. We decided to make this all investors. We've been here all the way up to advanced, but the most important thing is the people on the team. This allows me to show you guys exactly, precisely what I did when I broke into this business and how I got all that business. I'm talking about investor workshop, using the booklet, using my database, And by the way, I'm going to give you guys a hint. I've already got the next 4 investor huddles already mapped out. The agenda, the curriculum, the whole 9 yards. I'm literally taking you through step by step everything I did. Okay. So I would love to see you on there every Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. So,
For 30 minutes?
yeah, it might go a little bit long, but
All right.
30 minutes. Yeah.
All right.
So, in any case, guys, get the new, oh, how do I get in the new construction huddle? So Anita, I would check with Robin. She's on tonight. If you want to put your number in there, or if you and Robin, if you and Anita want to connect, is Robin still on? There she is. Yep, and there's Anita. It may be too late, Anita, for this round. We got another round starting in another. Is it 8 weeks, Robin? 8 weeks away for the next one, or are we still about 10 weeks out?
We have 8 weeks left of this one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is a building curriculum, so I don't think it would be feasible for someone to jump in at this stage. So yeah, we'll have to wait till if there's the next round coming in.
Yeah. So Anita, we're 4 weeks into it already. But I would definitely I would learn as much as you can learn. If in fact you can Google, you can go and look for tryvicinity.com. Just play around with it. Just see what it does. And if you want to just set up a one-on-one with me, um, there may be a letter you can use that we have, or maybe on ReliefFlow or something.
You don't know what an AI work management platform is?
Sorry, what's that?
Sorry, that was me. I accidentally
Oh,
clicked
okay.
on something.
I thought you were telling me you had a piece of apple pie for me.
No.
I'm getting hungry for apple pie. Okay, well, there's needed a number, Robin, if you want to jot that
Okay,
down.
let me
But
tell you.
Oh,
yeah.
Here's 3 new
So guys, if you want to check the WhatsApp group, Sugar put out there the investor agent huddle link in there, and then you sent an email out, and also the new hub is up and running, EXP Hub for Communications. Finally, we got our team group there. All right, so look on there. So just so you know, long term, we've been using a myriad of things, including Slack. So and we also have a Slack group too. So long term, this is my opinion. I believe Glenn Sanford is driving us towards the use of the new EXP hub for communications. It looks a lot like the old Workplace did. I think it's user friendly. I'm not knocking the other platforms. We've used them all, but this one I think is going to be the winner long term.
Where do you go to get that, Gary?
Sugar also put that out, and she also put it. Let me share my screen again. If you go into, 1 second. I think it's back in the GI resources. Let's see, GI resources here. Oh, that's in it. You know where it is? Hang on 1 second. Look under EXP links. That's where I saw it. EXP Hub, there you go, hub.exprealty.com. So under EXP links on our team website, you'll see the new Okta. It's not you. Now we have to use the Okta login to get into your back office and enterprise and all that. If you haven't been lately, guys, they definitely changed it. I do think it's better. There's a link to Bold Trail there. Your if you go to my EXP Realty, you'll see your back office, your enterprise, anything about agent attraction and um, your downline, revenue share, the whole 9 yards. We do have to change the ReliefFlow link now, of course, is the Street Smart one. So I got to have Sugar do that. And then there's the Slack link there. So EXP agent community sign up for Slack. So that's all in the EXP links tab for you. So, okay. Okay. Scale of 1 to 10, raise either 1 finger or anywhere up to 10 fingers. How was tonight's class?
Great.
Oh, thanks, guys. Good answer considering I'm the team leader.
11.
I just, yeah, 11. PF's tricky. That could be 2. No, just kidding. I'll leave you with a quick joke here. Actually, it's the guy ended up being okay. It's a true story. So one of my former in-laws was a major in the army, and he was home on leave. And there was a big storm that came through. This is all true. And he climbed the tree to take care of a branch that was going over power line. Now, everybody mostly knows today, you let the power company do that. Even if it's your tree, they'll do it for free. You don't climb up there. He climbed up there and fell a long distance. They took him to the VA hospital, running tests, and they asked him, what's 1 and 1? And guess what answer he gave? 11. True story. Yep. 1 and 1 is 11. So the moral of the story is, don't climb trees. Let your kids do that. Okay. Any final thoughts or questions, guys? All right. Oh, look, at somebody's getting some love in there. Oh, look at that. Holy cow. Is that same spot? We used to have a dog with a black patch like the others, so we call them Spot, you know? Oh, makes me want to get a dog again. Okay, hey, listen, guys, I'll see you on the huddles. Remember, we've been doing this now for several months. The data is this. The people in the huddles are doing the best overall. Transactions, agent attraction, it's not even close. The huddles are a miracle, and I'm loving them. So we're not gonna overwhelm you, but you're gonna have a choice of a couple different huddles going forward long term. And some of you are getting to run these huddles too. Maybe all of you eventually, but for right now, I'm kicking them off, and then we turn them over. Lily's running one on the CAP program, Certified Affordable Housing Provider, right? That's still every other Wednesday at 7. Is that right, Lily?
Yes,
Once a month, the third Wednesday of the month.
Excellent. Okay, third Wednesday. Okay, awesome. You guys, I tell you what, these are good groups. Check them out. Look into them. Some of them are prescribed curriculum. So like new construction, you got to take advantage when it's there. The investor one, you know, you want to jump in as soon as you can because I am going through a sequence of events. But if you're logged in and you're not the first 10 people, still stay and you can listen and learn. But we decided to keep it to the first 10 people as far as who's able to ask questions and so forth. Otherwise we'll drag on, well past a half hour. But everything we're going to do is going to be recorded. Anybody that wants it is going to have access to it on the team, even if you can't be in the huddle. But be in the huddle, guys, I just got to tell you, when you build that teamwork and that camaraderie and support that comes out of it, I mean, Lily, would you agree that like you're forming relationships at the group level and one-on-one? I mean, it's an amazing feeling. Yep. So, in fact, if you guys could, everybody give Lily a pat on the back. She's kind of like a quiet hero in the background. She doesn't toot her own horn, so I'm going to toot it for her. She's done an amazing job with that capital, right? So, okay. And Robert's doing an amazing job too on the new construction. I mean, if you're in it, you know what I'm talking. That is some good stuff, guys. I'm telling you. Holy cow. Okay, if you let me, I'll keep you accurate. So let's go ahead and get going. I'll see you in the huddles. I'll see you in your one-on-ones. Remember, I'm off this Thursday and Friday for the NFL draft. I wouldn't normally do it, but 2 of my best friends are coming up, so I'm going to show them the town, and we're going to act like we're in college again. So I'll see you guys in the one-on-ones, and I'll see you next Monday. That's Sparkle. Who's going to teach you how she's doing referrals and attraction using Instagram. She's another EXP agent. So we're looking forward to that, Okay.
Thank
you guys have a
you.
great night, all right? You're welcome.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you for watching Monday Night Live. Consider subscribing. Agents, want to learn more? Schedule a call with Gary using the link in the description.